Hi everybody. So I want to continue my series on using the gray rock technique, and I want to talk about using it to facilitate a breakup. So with a narcissist, you can't be the one to dump them, because that's how you get a stalker. That's how you get a forensic narcissist. They go absolutely insane because they cannot deal with rejection. They cannot handle rejection. So they're the kinds of people that you're afraid to leave, and I see this a lot and I hear this a lot. If you're afraid to leave, then what an alternative that works very well is to get them to leave you for somebody else. So narcissists are like a gypsy curse. Narcissists, emotional abusers, whatever it is that's brought you to this channel. They're like a gypsy curse. You can't get rid of them on your own. You just sort of have to give them to somebody else, unfortunately. And I see this question a whole lot. Should I warn the next person who they're with? The answer is no, you should not. Because when it comes down to it, your ultimate responsibility is to you and yourself, number one, not to a complete stranger. And if you're still unable to be that selfish, then reason number two is the fact that by the time you're finding out about this other person, it's not until long after the narc has groomed them up and brainwashed them to the point where they can actually use them in triangulation and try to use them to make you miserable. So by the time you start hearing about another person, that means that the narc is purposefully letting you know that there's somebody else, and they're confident enough in their manipulation in the state of things with this other person. They're confident enough that they can make you aware of this person, and no matter what you do, you won't be able to get rid of them. So, I mean, the cards are already dealt when it comes to that. There is nothing really that you can do for the new person. A lot of people try to warn the new person. Doesn't really go too well much of the time. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if you feel like that's something you should do, you should do it. You just shouldn't expect for there to be any sort of positive outcome, because by the numbers, it's probably not going to happen. So how do you get them to dump you? Well, you have to cut off the supply. A narcissist is like a spider, and you're like a fly. Narcissists only keep people in their lives who serve a purpose. A spider only keeps things in the web that serve a purpose, aka flies and bugs. If a little leaf lands in the web, the spider runs over to it, cuts the leaf right out of the web, leaves, twigs, dirt, anything that makes the web more visible to insects, the spider cuts it out. Once the spider has caught a fly in the web, it goes over there, it injects it with venom, and it wraps it with silk. Silk so it can't get away, and injects the venom so that it doesn't have the strength to escape, right? So it's a two-part securing of its supply. A physical constraint, and then poisoning, right? So being toxic. And that's exactly how narcissists keep people in their lives. They'll often secure you by they will place themselves in a position where you need them for something. So they create the need, they create their own relationship security, either by paying the mortgage, or paying for the house, or paying for your car, paying for your house and your car, so that when it comes time to leave, you're like, Jesus Christ, if I need to leave, I've got to pay for movers, I've got to pay a down payment, I've got to pay a deposit, first couple months rent, and find a car and get a car. Jesus Christ, this is going to be hard. That's what they do. And then, it's hard to leave. And once that becomes apparent, they know it's hard to leave and that you're not intent on leaving. That's where the real abuse starts to come into play, because now they're just having fun because they know you're caught. So, so with that in mind, how can you get out of this situation? Well, get yourself dumped. That's about the best way to get yourself away from a narcissist. is to get them to discard you. And it seems so counterintuitive, but you want to be rejected. You want to be worthless. You'll know your gray rock is working well when they start getting mad and saying things like, God, you're worthless. Man, you're absolutely worthless. This is pathetic. You know, nothing ever seems to bother you. It's like you don't even care. Like, you don't even care. Why are you even here? And you say, well, I'm here because I want to be. Right? So when you start gray rocking, you're denying them of conflict. So they're going to come at you, jaws a-blazing, trying to start a conflict. And you just say, okay, that's fine. Okay, sure. Why not? Okay, whatever. That's how you feel. You go do whatever. Or you say, that's your business. Like, you go do whatever it is you want to do. Go be the person you want to be. If that's your business, I'm not going to tell you what to do or hold you back. I don't control you. I don't control you, and I don't have the right to tell you how to feel or how you should feel. Those are very effective because they're very difficult to perpetuate a conflict after. Because that's almost always what underlies a conflict is issues of control and telling someone how they should feel or whatever, or they're now mad. And they say it's your fault that they're mad. No, it's not your fault. It's their fault they're mad because you don't control their reactions. Reactions are something they control 100%. So it's not your responsibility and it's not your problem, whatever's making them mad. So you gray rock them. Gray rock until you start hearing stuff like you're worthless, you're absolutely worthless, God, why am I even with you? And then you're well on the way to being cheated on. And so you can put your own radar out there, your own flying monkeys, your own surveillance techniques, whatever it is you want to do to either catch them cheating or wait for them to reveal it. But once they've got that other person going, once they've got that other affair, especially if you're married, you need to go get an attorney ahead of time and get yourself planned and prepared so that you're not the last one running to court. If you know an affair is inevitable, then you need to have all your ducks in a row and you need to be the first one to an attorney, and you need to go to the attorney and talk to them before the affair becomes common knowledge, and be ready for it. Because when it happens, that's your cue. And he's like, oh, why would you destroy me like this? You've ruined my life. And then he'd be like, yeah, I ruined your life. Yeah, get out, I don't want you. Bye. That's what you have to do. You have to make them think that they're destroying you, that how on earth will you live without them, etc. And so I know I can talk about this much more casually at this point in my life than somebody who's actually going through it right now. So I understand I sound very casual about all this, but it works. That's how I got myself out. And it's how I've gotten other people out. So yeah, gray rock technique is about the best way to break up with a narc, because it makes them break up with you. And it's going to be a painful process, but you've got to stand strong. You've got to keep going with the gray rock and not quit. Don't get pulled into the conflict. They want the fight. Understand? They want the fight, not you. They don't want to be wrong or right. They just want to fight. So, gray rocking denies them the fight. And you've got to understand one thing. Everybody wants to have order and balance and peace in their life. But a narcissist does not, because they are imbalanced to begin with. And they seek imbalance, and they seek to create imbalance. And that's why the more you talk to them, the more you try to resolve things, the worse it gets, because they're not interested in peace and balance. and what is otherwise boring. They're interested in proving to themselves that they can control your happiness, your sadness, your anger, your frustration, all of your feelings, like a little remote control puppet. You know, that's how they are. That's what they want. They want the fight. They could really give a shit about being wrong or right, or they could give a shit about how you feel. You've got to realize that. Be so boring that nobody can fight with you because you're just, I don't know, a sack of shit laying on the couch eating Cheetos, right? And they come in starting to fight, sitting, laying on the couch eating your Cheetos, just being like, okay, whatever. Yeah, go. You know, they come at you all mad and be like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. Do whatever it is you're gonna do. And they make a threat, you know, you're like, oh, you know, just, okay, you know, if that's what you feel like you should do, go do it. You know, watching my Netflix, eating my Cheetos. Netflix and Cheetos, right? We stopped Netflixing and chilling a long time ago. Alright, well, that's about all my thoughts for now on this particular subject. Please like, comment, or share. Let me know if you've done this before, had any success, tried and failed to do it. Want any tips on Grey Rock? By all means, comment and I'll respond. I've got tons of good phrases and tons of good strategies. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next video.